Do you pray? And if so, what is your relationship to prayer? And if you don't pray, what is your relationship to asking or seeking guidance from something bigger than yourself, something beyond the human experience? Maybe you call that source or the universe. But what is your relationship to this sacred energy of connection and creating partnership with God or with the universe? Today, I want to share three things that I do to create a sacred container within prayer and the partnership that I feel prayer creates with the divine creator. Now, before we get started, I want to first address perhaps the religious programming that we may have come across as we've grown into adults around the concept of prayer. Prayer being something that you only do when you are at a low point or when you feel alone in your journey. That this is the time that you need to finally ask for help or you're begging for help. And it's only done when you are feeling that you have no other way to turn, and that by asking and pleading and begging that somehow miraculously, and sometimes, I mean, maybe sometimes it works, because you are finally on your knees surrendering, saying, I give up control to this. But I think most of the time there's sort of like this entitlement that we carry around, well, I'm asking you for this, so manifest it. So I am begging for this, so please give me this. I'm bargaining for this. I'm going to tell you that I'll do this if you do this for me. I promise that I will change. And what we lose sight of in prayer is the partnership, right? The sacredness of prayer and connection to God, divine creator or source. And this is what I want to talk about today. So, one of the most important things that I feel needs to be there in prayer and in the sacred container of a prayer is the idea of attuning to the energy of who you need to be in order to have that version or that answered prayer manifest. And what I mean is that when we are attuned to the energy of our prayer, if you watch Dr. Joe Dispenza, it's very much Dr. Joe concept here, but attuning to your prayer in the way that you are merging and matching up and creating and cultivating the state of being that would need to be present for your answered prayer to manifest. And this is what I mean by being in partnership. Prayer to me is not about, I'm asking for this without the idea that I'm not going to have to work for it. Okay, that I'm not going to have to do anything but put it out to the universe and it'll magically come to me. There needs to be the agreement that, yes, I am in partnership with God to have this manifest and present itself to me, the solution, the resolution, the answer, the pathway, what have you. And that when that is presented to me, it's as if God is reaching out their hand to say, here you go. Here is a pathway or an answer or a solution. And now it's your job to reach out your hand, grab his hand, and let him take you to that solution so that there is not just like, here you go, it's on a platter, here's the answer. Here's my hand, I'll show you the way, is the way I see it. But you have to take the action of receiving the hand and thereby receiving the pathway of what actions you're supposed to take in order for the manifestation to occur. And oftentimes that takes us surrendering and letting go of what we think the answer needs to be or what it needs to look like. And we need to go ahead and surrender everything we think we know about ourselves, any fixed ideas or limited ideas of what we know to be true about ourselves, so that we can have a very clear slate and take that hand and let it lead us to wherever God wants us to go. And that means surrendering to being a know-it-all, to having all the answers, to thinking I've been there, done that. I've done everything I know how to do. So the first thing that I feel needs to be within a prayer is the sacredness of that prayer, of holding a conversation with God, divine creator or source, as sacred, as this is a meeting with somebody who's there to love and support you, who's there to present things to you in a way that works for you, in a way that brings you ease, in a way that uplifts you, in a way that causes you to feel alive within yourself, in a way that lights your path. And so this is a very sacred space. It's not one to come to the meeting with a lack of integrity or a lack of divinity within yourself. And yeah, there will be times when you feel defeated and you feel sad and you feel lost. But even within those feelings, you can come to the table with, I know that you created me, so I know that I hold divine power within me, that you source and resource, that you um, planted within me so that I can fulfill on something greater here. That's why I'm here. So to remember that is within you the greatness and beauty that you hold. And you come to the table with that, even in your feeling of lostness or confusion or defeat. You come here humble. You come here ready to receive. So that's one of the things I feel is so important when we come to prayer, is that we're not coming powerless, but rather powerfully to receive from God, to receive and be ready to take action, to be in our power. The second thing I think is super important around prayer is to remember, and this is around the what we just talked about. It's still a little bit of that. It's a little overlapped, but to remember that you really do carry gifts that only you hold, that only you can express, that only you can fulfill, that only you can contribute. And that those gifts are meant to be resourced financially, energetically, spiritually, emotionally, that you are resourced by expressing your gifts. And God is not going to hold back on that. You know what I mean? So you can ask for specifically a partnership in helping me see, how do I find financial resource? Can you point me in the right direction? Can you present it to me? Can you help me see that clearly? I'm in a job right now that depletes me. I would love to see the pathway toward a job where I feel alive, where I feel energized, where I feel like I can't wait to go there the next day, or I can't wait to work on that the next day. I feel resourced. So being in integrity and being super sincere in your prayer, like a child, humbled about where you are. I don't feel great when I go to this job. I feel crappy. I feel tired. I don't want to go there. I'm feeling sad. I don't feel alive. I feel like I can't think of any new ideas because I don't want to be there. Be honest about it. Be sincere in your prayer. And then within your prayer, also be that which you wish to be or want to manifest for yourself. You know, I put down channeling for a whole year on this YouTube channel because I was in question about whether it was right for me. And I prayed about it for a year. It's really important for me to be in integrity with what I share here, with what I'm doing here. It's important to me to be authentic and honest about my experience. It's important to me to be responsible for what I put out into the world. And I prayed about that for a year before I chose to put myself back in the ring, so to speak. And that brings me to the third thing that I think is really important in prayer, and that is taking action, as I mentioned earlier, honoring what comes through, honoring when you receive a message, and taking the step that's presented to you, taking the whether however that comes through. Maybe an idea comes through in the shower. Maybe you have a dream about something. Maybe somebody actually presents you with an opportunity. Maybe you hear something on the radio, or maybe you're just walking and you see a bird that brings you a literal message, like you hear a message from the bird, or it makes you think of something from before. My foot's falling asleep. Um, it's so important to listen to the message and then honor the message and then do something that takes action or takes a step toward what was received. The more you do this, the more your pathways open. You don't have to know the end result of your prayer. You don't have to know the final answer, right? Or the finish line. Where is that? Where am I crossing that finish line? How does that finish line look? Who am I with around that finish line? Now, like I said, you can envision this version of yourself, right? This answered prayer version of yourself. But be aware that it doesn't have to look exactly the way you're envisioning it. The feeling will still be there, right? All the things that you want to feel in your life, all the things you want it to be, the state of being will not change most likely. The the external vision of that might look different, but you need to take those steps. You need to take the small steps that the hand is offering you. And the more steps you take and the more, yes, 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 I see this, I hear this, I'm doing it, I'm following it, the faster or the more attuned you will be towards the pathway toward the finish line. And let me tell you something else. God doesn't want you to play small. So when you're in prayer, and this falls back into the second theme where you're completely sincere and authentic about your experience and what you want to experience or what you desire for yourself, be clear on what it is that you would like to create together in partnership. So don't say, I'd really like this job, but I get if it's too big. I don't know if I should be asking for something so large, or I would really like to have this much money in my bank or to financially support myself. But if that's too much, gosh, I would really settle for something smaller, at least this. No, God knows how miraculous you are. God knows how beautiful you are. He created you. So you're talking in partnership to the miracle worker of all miracles. Anything is possible here. So God doesn't want you to be playing small. God wants you to say, hey, here I am. Use me, fulfill everything that we meant to fulfill on together. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm here. I'm here. I want to be of service. I want to hold up my part of the agreement because I'm here. And so, just remember to be sincere, to be honest, and to do it from your heart. God and the divine creator wants you to live out your highest potential, your greatest potential, wants you to live out the experience you came here for, wants you to experience the greatness within you. These are my 3 tips for prayer. And I just hope that it helps you in some way, and if you already pray, awesome. Maybe it can help adjust or shift something within your prayer routine, or if you don't pray, that this has inspired you to maybe try it out, you know? Try out having a conversation with God like you would a friend. Having a conversation and connection also with yourself around the future version of what you desire to manifest. We're all in the same boat. We're all just here on earth trying to make it. And we all have beautiful gifts and beautiful skills and beautiful talents. And we're not doing it all alone. We're doing it together, and we are doing it with the help and presence and support and love, undying love from God. So, you know, that's what I got today. Have a beautiful weekend. I love you all, and I will see you next Saturday. Bye.